My name is Harfeathers, and today I am going to be ranking every trade you can get through Piglin bartering from S tier to F tier. Don't worry about the fact that there's no E tier, because E tier is never included on this sort of tier list anyway, so it's probably fine. These are all the items you can get through Piglin bartering in order of rarest to least rare. So, without further ado, we shall begin. The first item is a book enchanted with a random level of soul speed. Now, I don't know about you, but in general, I don't really use soul speed that much, even though it is a decent enchantment, so I'm tempted to put it either B tier or C tier. And for its rarity, I think I will put it at a C tier. Next up, we have these boots enchanted with soul speed, which I'm going to put at B tier because they are the soul speed book essentially, but with a free set of iron boots, which you can always use a grindstone to disenchant. So I would say these are quite a solid B tier. Next up, we have fire resistance. Now, this is actually quite useful when you're in the nether, because obviously the nether is full of fire. So, fire resistance is quite useful to get through piglin bartering, and the same for this drinkable potion of splash resistance. Next, we have a water bottle, which seems a very strange item to get through piglin bartering, and I think I'd classify it as either D to F. F tier is useless junk that you don't need. You can get them through fishing, so I would say, but it's in the nether. It's in the nether, and because it seems weird to have this in the nether, I think I'll put it F tier because it's useless junk. You can get it through fishing really easily, and it just seems weird to me to have a water bottle obtainable in the nether. Next up, dried ghast. Now, I like the happy ghast personally, but I don't think it's the best means of transport while building. So I'm going to give it an A tier. I think it's a wonderful feature, but the slowness is just horrible. Like it's the slowest thing. It's slower than minecarts. Like that. Yeah, it cannot be an S. As much as I love it, it cannot be an S tier because a happy ghast is just so slow. Next up, iron nuggets. Now, on its own, this is quite useless, just a single iron nugget. But you can expect to get 10 to 36 iron nuggets. So that's guaranteed one iron ingot and at most 4 iron ingots. So this is actually quite useful. Not quite A tier though, because it's not the most iron in the world, but it's more iron than it looks like it would be. But yeah, 1 to 4 iron ingots is, I'd say, decent. Next up, we have our first straight up S tier. These things are so useful and really nice to get. It's because I've got tick freezed. Look, if I do this, then the ender pearl works and all those items have gone. These things are so useful, especially when you're in the nether and you just need to go somewhere. They are really useful, and also They are used a lot by speedrunners because it's like a decently quick way to get ender pearls without having to go to a warped forest, or is it? It's a warped forest, it's not a crimson forest, and have to kill all of those like 14 to be safe endermen. Um, so yeah, that is quite a good thing to get through Piglin bartering. Unlike this, now string is a weird one. It's one I think most people forget that you can actually get when you're piglin bartering, and just like the water bottle, it seems a bit random. But it can be useful because fishing rods, you can craft this into wool, you can make a bow, so it's slightly more useful than this thing. Next, we have quartz. Now, if it wasn't that this was in the Nether, I think I'd give it a higher score. But because it's piglins live in the Nether, where there's so much quartz about, I don't think it can have anything higher than C tier. And even that's a stretch, so it's going to be another D tier for quartz. Obsidian, another S tier. This is a brilliant drop to get while piglin bartering. Um, and it can also be useful if you get trapped in the nether. Which brings me on to the next item, which is a fire charge. Now, I have not used one of these for years now. Like, I don't even remember really how they work. They don't really light fires that easily. Um, yeah, they're just really useless, and I don't know anyone who actually uses fire chargers when you can just use one iron, one flint, and flint and steel. However, I know they are used in fireworks, which is not something I really use often either, but it is, I think, useful if you want to like make multicolored fireworks. But for me, finding it from piglin bartering is just really unsatisfying. And next up, crying obsidian. It's cool, but it's also completely useless. It's not even that good. It's not even the best in building. Um, it's just a bit. Hmm. It's just a bit. It's a C tier for me because I just don't feel it's very useful at all. Next up, we have leather, which I'm going to put at D tier because it's junk, but it does have some utilities, such as crafting leather armor, which is the only dyeable armor in game, and it can also be used to craft saddles, which is also quite useful, but not something I use very often. Although I will bump it up to C tier because I just remembered about striders. That could be useful in the nether. Next up, we have soul sand, which is, I think it's going to be a D tier. It's something you can get quite easily in the nether, like quartz, and I just don't think it really needs to be there. Like, I just don't think it needs to be in Piglin Bottom when it's so abundant in the nether. Next up, we have nether brick, which I would classify probably as something below C tier. It's not it's kind of just junk. I think you need 4 to craft it into whatnots. But you can expect to receive 2 to 8, so it's not a guaranteed block of nether bricks, but it's at least a guaranteed half block of nether bricks. I'm gonna put it at D tier because I just don't like the block particularly. I think also you can find it quite easily in the Nether through Nether fortresses. Although all this stuff that you can find, all this stuff that you can find easily in the Nether, I don't think they should remove that by any means because it is like it does make sense. Unlike the water bottle over here, that is probably the only one so far I think they should totally remove from Piglin bartering because it just makes no sense at all. But nether bricks, I just don't. It's just a bit meh, you know? They're not really that useful for anything. Next up is spectral arrows on Java. But on Bedrock, these will not be available. Instead, you will have regular arrows. Spectral arrows, I think I'll put at B tier because they're they're good, but only on multiplayer, really. Like when you're playing with your friends. And on some servers, there are like mods that enable the same function of if you on some servers there are mods that enable the same thing of if you hit a mob or an enemy, it starts glowing. Um, so I don't really think they're that useful except on multiplayer. Um, but they can be fun for like mini games and that sort of thing. Um, also if you were like doing like something that involved killing like killing the right animal in a group of animals or something, then they would be useful. But I just don't think they have much utility in single player Minecraft. Next up is gravel, and this is something that's quite easily F tier. Useless junk can be found really easily in the Nether. Um, Although although it does have some utility in the Nether, because once again, if you were stranded in the Nether, it would be useful to get some flint, so you can escape using a flint and steel and a portal. So yeah, it's a D tier for me. And on to our final item, Blackstone. I do like Blackstone, but it's quite easy to find in the Nether elsewhere, so I'm inclined to put it as a C tier because it's a really nice block. I just feel like it's easier to get in other places in the Nether. Yep, he surveys the tier list and he does not seem interested. Um, if you liked this video, please do consider subscribing. Tell your friends. I have been Half Ezzers. I hope you did enjoy the video very much and will consider subscribing and will tell your friends and all of that. Thank you. Good.